We pay more to live in places that feel safe. Quiet streets, familiar neighbors, locked doors. But in each of these stories, safety didn't disappear all at once. It faded, quietly, until it was already too late. I grew up believing danger announced itself. Broken windows, alarms, raised voices. The idea that someone could already be inside our home never crossed my mind. This happened when I was a teenager, in late autumn, in a house my family had lived in for years. The neighborhood was quiet, predictable. Nothing about it felt threatening. At first, it was easy to explain things away, small things, food missing from the kitchen. My father once found a bottle in the cabinet completely empty, even though no one admitted touching it. We blamed stress, bad memory, old plumbing. At night, the house sounded different. I'd lie still in bed, listening, trying to decide if the sound was real or if I was imagining it. Sometimes it was tapping, other times what sounded like whispering, muffled and distant, like it was trapped behind the walls. I told myself it was nothing, but the feeling stayed. The night we found writing on the basement wall, I remember thinking, this isn't the house anymore. It was written in ketchup, short phrases, misspelled, deliberate. After that, things were harder to ignore. Objects were moved in obvious ways. The TV would be on in the morning when we knew it had been off. The sense of being watched settled in quietly and refused to leave. We didn't know then that someone had found a crawl space hidden between the walls. He was young, someone I recognized from school, someone I had rejected weeks earlier. Instead of leaving, he stayed. At night, while we slept, he came out to eat our food. He listened to our conversations, learned when the house was empty, then slipped back into the walls. One night, my father decided he couldn't live with the uncertainty anymore. He sat in the living room late, hoping to put an end to whatever was happening. The sound came from somewhere it had never come from before. The hallway closet door opened, and he stepped out. In that moment, every explanation we'd been clinging to disappeared. We ran, barefoot, into the cold. The police arrived minutes later and took him away. We moved months later. Even now, I still don't know how long he had been there before we noticed. I used to believe safe neighborhoods protected you by default. Wide streets, clean yards, neighbors who waved. This happened when I was in my 30s, living with my family in a town people bragged about. Crime felt distant, something that happened somewhere else. The night started normally. My wife had taken our kids to the store earlier. I stayed home, locked up, and went to sleep thinking about work the next morning. I woke up to a sound I didn't recognize. The room smelled like stale tobacco before I even opened my eyes. Before I could sit up, someone was in the room. I didn't see faces, just movement and pressure. I was dragged downstairs and restrained in the basement. The lights were off. I could hear footsteps above me. They weren't rushed. That's what scared me. Time stopped making sense. Doors opened, water ran. Voices I didn't recognize spoke calmly, like they belonged there. At some point, my wife was forced to leave the house with them. I didn't know where she was going. I didn't know if she would come back. The air in the basement felt wrong, thick and heavy, like it didn't belong there. That's when I realized the house was on fire. Adrenaline took over. I managed to free myself and crawl toward the stairs, choking and disoriented. I made it outside just before the smoke became unbearable. Emergency lights arrived minutes later. I survived. My family didn't. Later, investigators told me the intruders had followed my wife home earlier that day, chosen us quietly, randomly. I still drive past that street sometimes. Everything looks exactly the same.
Technology makes you feel prepared. Cameras, apps, alerts. I thought it meant control. This happened recently, in a gated community with patrols and surveillance. I was out to dinner when my phone vibrated on the table. I was 20 minutes away across town. It was my daughter. She was home alone. Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Mom, I think someone's outside." I opened the security app. 4 figures were moving across the yard, calm, unrushed. They weren't climbing, they weren't sneaking. They cut straight through the gate. I told my daughter to lock herself in the bathroom and called emergency services on another line. The video feed started to lag. One of the figures stopped and looked directly up at the camera. The screen went black, and for a moment, no one spoke. I stayed on the phone until police arrived. 12 minutes that felt endless. They caught the intruders inside the house, seconds before they reached the bathroom. We moved shortly after. I learned that security systems don't stop danger. Sometimes they just let you watch it coming.
The most unsettling part of these stories isn't the violence, it's how easily safety disappears. Most people believe it won't happen here until it does. What part of your home makes you uneasy at night?